You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it in back bay. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy J. Ludis, and guys, we have a guest you haven't seen on here in a while, but every time he's been on, he always brings something powerful to the show. He is now the leader of the Take a Moment YouTube channel, which, guys, I'm going to put the link to that at the end of this video. Go check out what he's putting out there because, like I said, he brings the power with every message he has. So, guys, I give you Daniel Brown. Dan, I thank you for being back here, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's
every time we get together, man, something great comes out of it. I know someone gets something out of it too. And today, we wanted to dive deep into something that I know he loves doing with people, is addressing the topics that not too many people want to talk about or acknowledge because they may be uncertain at times. They may spark up some stress, some anxiety. But guys, like I said, his YouTube channel, he brings the answers to all this stuff. So with what we want to talk about today, kind of connects to last week's video. If you haven't watched it yet, go check out the crisis message because I think that's going to touch the hearts of so many people. But when we're going through moments in life and we're uncertain, we don't know which way to go, we tend to revert back to what we always knew rather than stepping in to these anxious moments, these stressful moments because of the uncertainty. And we revert back to what we did. We never get to where we need to go. So Dan, let's talk about that for a little while.
Yeah, I think that honestly, these moments in our lives are big points of like conflict and just things just hitting together. Like that's at least what it feels like.
Yeah.
And we could really shy away from just that uncomfortability.
Yep.
I know a while ago we had a whole episode on just getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
And it's like in our constant, our state of wanting to revert back to what makes us feel good. Like just for the example that like, we don't want to approach things that, you know, like the title of this episode that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah. And
it's so difficult because it hurts to talk about these things. It hurts to even like try to look at it. Mm-hmm. It hurts to even evaluate what's bothering us. Yeah. But I feel like the biggest area to grow is to tackle these things head on. Yeah. I feel like once you feel the pain, the growing pains, as you can say, like, it's because you're tackling it. Yeah. You will never grow if you don't approach something different. Yeah. If you don't look at it a different way, if you don't try to walk into that thing like straight head on to it, you know, like there's so many different examples that I'm probably sure you can elaborate on.
Oh no, exactly. And I think that's perfect right there because when we're going through a struggle, whether it's you lost your job, whether it's your relationship didn't work out, whether it's a loved one situation, a friend situation, money situation, whatever it may be, we all get so fixated on like, you know, this is the life. Nice, everything's so down to earth. I'm in control of all of it. And if one thing starts to fade, if, like I said, the relationship breaks, the job goes away, a lot of people, sadly, start to deteriorate the seams. They start to step out of their comfort zone and they do not like it because they're being pushed out of their comfort zone. And when that's what Dan was just getting back to, where people start to revert back. And, you know, on that idea, if you've lost something and you're going through a struggle, you can't go back to your comfort zone and people try to revert back to it. But since you lost what was in it, it's never the same. And so we're all stuck with, oh my goodness, what do I do? What do I do? And like he just said, you got to face this stuff head on, however that looks for you. And a lot of people tend to shy away from those aspects in life. And I think when you shy away from these moments in life, yes, they're tough moments, but as he said, they're the growth moments. when you try to avoid those and detach yourself from them, you're detaching yourself from life. If you're detaching yourself from life, you're missing out, yes, on what could bring you pain, but you're also missing out on everything that could open up for you that could bring you joy. And that's something I think is what gives you the fire to face things head on.
Exactly. And then another big thing that may be able to help anybody who watches this is that in these moments of trying to move forward, I know you're looking for something. If everything around you is changing, what is that one constant thing that I can rely on? Or in other words, what's that anchor that I can hold on to? And for some people, it may be family, friends, the gym, and even other habits or things that may not be so good, like overeating or stress that causes stress, or different things that aren't really necessarily healthy. But at least I can say for us that our anchor in these moments is Jesus, is God, is our faith in him, knowing that we have the hope in him to be an anchor, not just for our life and everyday living, but for our soul. And I know that sounds a little deep, but it's really where everything comes from. Because without our faith in our life, that's really the source of where we get our joy from. So, for example, from everything that you said, if we do experience the loss of a job, the loss of anything really, anything that we have to face head on, and we don't know what to do, we know that by trusting and believing in God and putting our faith in him, we know that all things will work together for our good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things where it's unexplainable, but it does have an explanation at the same time. And I know that one of the things that we're taught is different systems. Like if I do this way and I do this way, then the outcome will be this. But sometimes I know it's hard for people to put their trust in an unknown like equation. And the greatest part about it is that putting it into this equation of just trusting in God and having him be an anchor to when you're struggling to grab hold onto the new challenges you're facing. I know for sure, and I'm a witness that it will work out.
Exactly. No, I love that. And you hit the nail on the head right there. With faith, a belief in something is an anchor for so many people, as it is an anchor for us. And I think I mentioned this last week too in the crisis message. Regardless of what people believe in, whether it is God, whether it's Jesus, whether it's whatever it is for you, maybe you say you don't believe in something, underneath all that definition is a belief that something is guiding your life. And as you said, all things work together. You know, everything does happen for a reason, whichever route you choose, because life will work out for you if you allow it to. Meaning you have to let life happen for you. Not try to take control of it and force it one way, because that just brings in more stress at the end of the day. Or you can create your life with all the building blocks and the Legos that you have, and then because you built it with your own hands, there could be a possibility that something knocks it over and you don't know where you're at. So on that idea, it comes back to it. You need to let life unfold. You need to let life move the way it's going to do. And here's what I've really come to learn in my own experiences, which I've mentioned in past videos, and it rings clear right now. Life is going to push you where it's going to push you, or it's going to pull you where it's going to pull you. And you can be in step with life, meaning if you picture a giant rope coming and you're on it and it's pulling you in one direction, this is the direction you're supposed to go, your purpose, your destiny, whatever it is, family, friends, whatever it is, you're in step with it, it's pulling you there. But if you become stagnant in life, if you try and control too much in life, life is still going to need you to accomplish your destiny, your purpose. And whether you've stepped into trying to figure out what that is for you, it's something awesome to try and think about. But if you try to, this is my life in this little box, I'm going to try and control everything, life is going to push you to where you need to go. And when it's pushing you, yes, you're going to feel some pain. Whether that's the loss of a job, however that comes to you, whether it's relationship, family, sadly the loss of a loved one, it's pain. But pain, in all honesty, was meant to be something that gets you to where you need to be.
Exactly. And like the biggest thing is the way how life is in general is it's really designed to where you have to go through challenges in order to grow, in order to get to where you want and need to be. Like I'll quote Jesus, like Jesus said, in this world we will have trouble, but to take heart because he's already overcome the world. Now for believers that may mean something, and for even if you don't believe in anything that I'm saying, it can also mean something for you as well, because on the other side of that, for every millionaire and billionaire, they had to climb the ladder to get to where they are now. None of them reached that status overnight. None of them got everything right in the first try. They had to keep tackling problems head on. And when they got 1,000 no's, it only took that one yes to make everything else worth it from what happened before.
Yeah, I agree. I love that, because it's, it rings clear where, you can look up to whoever you want to look up to. Whether you look up to God, or you look up to Jesus, whether you look up to anyone in a book, or you look up to just the people we see on the news, or, in all honesty, any fact of life, whether you're an entrepreneur or something, you more than likely have some figure that you look up to, whether that's an athlete, whether that's a businessman, whether it's someone on social media. They got there through all the hard work they put in, as Dan just said, but we look up to them because they've been through the struggles we relate to because of their story, and they got through it. So why not look at that person, whoever it is, and take to heart what they did? They didn't revert back. Life came to them, and they had to attack it head on, as Dan described it. And now we look up to them. Their story unfolded before our very eyes, and we never look at what they were doing when they were in the pit, the darkness, whatever you want to call it, when life knocks you to the ground. But now we learn from them. So if you're going through something, if you can't seem to get your feet under you, I'm going to ask you this question. Attack it head on. How do we attack it head on?
Attacking it head on, honestly, starts off with acknowledging what it is. Like, the reason why we came up with the title of this is talking about the things that nobody wants to talk about, is simply you have to acknowledge what it is. You have to, well, I was going to say you have to find out what it is, but a lot of the time we already know what that thing is. So we have to start off by acknowledging what it is, and then that's how you attack it. But then also you have to, for some people, I know it's a slow progression, but for others, you got to just jump in or you'll never get to it. If you don't acknowledge this thing and say like, hey, I know that this thing is holding me up. I know that this thing is something that my father used to go through. I know that this is what my mother used to go through. I know that this is what the generations before me have gone through in my family. Whether that may be you going back to school, or getting a certain degree, or doing whatever it may be for you. Like, if you're not going after that thing, or even if there's a lingering thing in your family that nobody wants to talk about, but you know it's an issue pulling everybody apart, these are the things that need to be put on the table and talked about, because in whatever area of your life, it's affecting you. And you see it affecting you, but nobody's saying anything. So this is the point where you have to be that person to step up and say, like, we're going to talk about this. We're going to handle this. And this could be applied to any situation. You might say, how could this be applied to me losing a job? Okay, well, if it's for you that lost a job, you have to acknowledge, like, I am more than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see that this has pushed me in a place where I feel like, man, what am I going to do? If you tackle that and acknowledge, like, okay, I saw that I lost this thing, but I know that I'm more than this, and I was built for more than this, and this is just a stepping stone to get me to the next place. I know that it's one thing saying it, but doing this and repeating this every single day will get you to where you want to be.
Exactly. And to even add more fuel to that fire that Dan just started, you think about it, in the whole grand scheme of your life, whether you believe you have a purpose, whether you believe you have a destiny, I know you do, but if you sit there and you're unsure of it, and you're questioning why these things keep happening to you, why these walls keep getting put up, why these things fade away, and you just can't seem to figure it out, coming back to history and how so many people that we look up to, as I just said in my other statement, they've been through it and they've gotten to where they need to be. And 99% of the time, the only 1% is that person that doesn't realize it yet. 99% of the time, those people can say that everything worked out exactly the way it was supposed to, and they were being protected from what knocked them down. So if you're sitting there and you're going on this path in life and you think you have everything listed out, you have everything happening exactly the way you want it, you have everything happening on the timetable you wanted it, and then something happens and that line you were on curves and you start going just a little bit, or maybe you start going this way or this way, whatever it is, something small knocks you off your course. So you're going a little bit of a diagonal. And you're going and you're going and you're going and life keeps happening, you're trying to take the punches, you're attacking everything head on, you're going this way. You could actually reach so much higher than you could ever have dreamed of because of that one little nudge off the path that you thought was pain, that wall that got put up here and you went this way. For all you know, behind that wall that got put up, however long ago it happened, could have been something absolutely detrimental, even more so to you. And you had to go through a little pain to get pushed to a different course so you could have all the happiness, the glory, the joy, the love that you've ever dreamed of. All the, in your own terms, whatever works for you, all the riches, and that doesn't have to be money. That could be whatever works for you. But life is happening for a reason. And like I said in numerous messages, it's unfolding before your very eyes. You don't have to force it. Spiritually speaking, life will unfold exactly the way it's supposed to, whether you believe there's a plan or not. Trust me. Don't trust me, trust him, because he's the one who put it in place. But there's so much truth behind that life is happening for you, and you got to be able to trust the process. And I think if people can step out of their own way and step out of the stresses and step out of the anxiety and step out of the fear that gets put in front of them when these things happen, and they just trust like, hey, it's going to work out. I just got to keep going. Guess what? It works out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I'll even add this. What has happened in your life that you know that has, like you said, pushed you a little bit off of course, and that you're not automatically falling back into place the way that you thought you would or should? What is it that happened? Or it doesn't have to be an event. What is it that was said? Or what are you still dealing with from your past that you know needs to be addressed?
Okay.
What is it that is blocking you from unlocking all the stuff that Billy just talked about?
Yeah.
I feel like until we tackle that thing that I'm talking about, that unspoken thing that you know is still there, that keeps on either coming back or rearing its head when you get in these difficult moments, until you tackle that thing, until you talk about that thing, whether it may be, you could talk to a therapist about it, you could talk to family about it, you can go, if it happens to be involving a direct person, you could talk to that very person. Whatever it is, those are the things that need to be have light shed on them and really help people get past that certain hump so they can experience everything that you were talking about.
Exactly. No, that's perfect right there. What's really comes to mind with that idea and everything we've talked about is the lessons. There is a lesson in every single situation that you go through in life. Whether you believe it or not, there's something that you need to learn spiritually. And, you know, that's not 2 + 2. I got to learn that math problem. No, it's like something bigger is happening in your life and everything that goes on in your life. So if you sit there and you take into account what Dan just said, there's something that you need to learn, there's something that you need to address, there's something that you need to work on or fix or just bring up to someone or yourself or for the mirror, that matter. And if you think that, if you take that into account, what lesson am I learning in this whole process? I have really come to believe in my own life experiences, and it took me a while to understand this, if you don't learn the lesson and you keep doing the same pattern, the same routine, the same thing you were always doing, it will pop up again and again and again until you learn your lesson, because you need to learn it, and that's the only way you can get to the next level in life is to learn what's there.
Exactly. It's very important to learn and understand, just like how we talked about trying not to revert back, but understanding what it is you constantly revert back to and why you revert back to that. Because it could be an experience that you had in your childhood that causes you to revert back to a defense mechanism or to being anxious about whenever you face this certain thing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for me, I was terrified of speaking in front of people. And I didn't know why, but it was because when I was a kid, I was really shy.
Okay.
So I didn't like speaking in front of people. I didn't really want to do it until, like, I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm really called to speak it to people in front of people.
Yeah.
So once I tackled that and just went for it, that helped me be where I am today.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy the door that opens for you when you face it.
Exactly.
Whatever you have to face, whether that's talking to someone, as Dan said, or for some people, and you brought this up, I want to come back to it. For some people, attacking it head on will be grabbing a piece of paper and writing down all the strengths, the skills, the goodness that is in you. Because when people get struck by a crisis or something that throws them off, they forget their self-worth.
Exactly.
If you forget your self-worth, you got nothing to build on. But it's there. And one of the things that I've come to notice is so many people can tell you your self-worth. So many people can build you up. So many people can tell you whatever it is. And it could give you like a 10-minute burst.
Yeah.
And then if you don't stick with it, it fades.
Exactly.
And as you said, you revert back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one who could really captivate how great you really are.
Yeah.
You know, like 1,000 people could tell you how great you are, how good of a job you do at something, but until you believe that thing, you're not going to actually walk in that state of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not even a pride standpoint. That's just truly you understanding what you bring to the table.
Exactly.
And you're at the point in your life right now where you bring so much to the table, and no matter what happened to you, that will not change. And people build their self-worth off of other people's perspectives of them. And I think that's the worst thing you could possibly do. Because if you build your towers up on other people's foundations and perspectives of who you are, second they leave, knock the tower over, because you got to start all over. But if you build it up on what's in you, what he put in you, or however you believe that, you have a foundation. You have a rock to stand on, as the scripture goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You definitely have solid ground to stand on, because if your foundation isn't solid, then those same people that have built up what they say about you or have poured into you, it could easily be kicked from right under you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's huge. I want to give people like a step-by-step process right now before we close this video out, because we went over so much. And I think, as you would agree, and you object this if you need to, step one would be, if you're going through something, acknowledge what it is you're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
Acknowledge what the problem is, what the stress is, what the anxiety is, whatever it is causing it. First step is to figure that out.
Yeah.
Write that down. I'd say the next step, as we just described, is to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
I think you need to list out who you are, whether it's on a piece of paper, whether it's in the mirror, whether it's recording it so you can always hear it back to yourself. You got to figure out what makes you you, your strengths, everything you bring to the table, because no matter who you are in this world, you bring something to the table that no one else brings to the table. And that's what you got to take heart of. What would you say step 3 is? Finding an anchor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, and honestly, that kind of connects with step 2 also, is because, for example, if you realize who you are, and then that your anchor, for example, is in Jesus Christ, then you know who you are because you're in him. And you know that you have something to lean on because you're connected to him.
Yeah.
So it makes the process that much easier. I know it's not going to be an easy process, but as much weight you can take off of it and lean back on something or someone, being God and Jesus, it helps the entire situation, so you don't feel like you're in it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this process isn't really something that you can rely on your spouse or even really friends. Like, they can help, but there's only so much they can do.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. So that's step 3. Step 4, is it attack it head on at that point? Because you've built yourself up.
Yeah, I think so. I think now, just literally apply the rest of the steps and attack it head on. I think now you just gotta do the action of walking in it, because I feel like a lot of the times we can go through these steps, acknowledging it, acknowledging God's place in our life, acknowledging that Jesus is our anchor, but then we stop there. We go like, all right, I did all these things. I know who I am. I know who I'm connected to. I know where my faith resides. I know that I can, you know, rely on this to get me through it. But it just stops there.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's like now you have to actually walk in it. You have to do the action, because it's not going to be done for you.
Yeah, right. That's huge.
Yeah.
It's true, and it's not going to be done for you. And that, don't let that scare you. It's just going to grow you more than anything.
Exactly. Like you just, at the end of the day, you just got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was saying for speaking, and I'm pretty sure any other person like yourself, when it comes to speaking, like you just got to do it. Yeah. If you feel nervous or you feel a little scared, you just got to start talking. Yeah. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
It's true.
Because if you don't just do the action, like, then you're never going to know what you could have missed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, before we put the video out, we were laughing about this, and I'll say it to close the video out. But, you know, in those moments where those nerves come in, that fear comes in, with whatever you need to step into, maybe you have to face something head on, as we just described, and just to get yourself back, or to get a new version of you to start, for that matter. You know, fear will come, the nerves will come, that anxious feeling will come, and you just gotta, you accept it, and you realize, you know, as Rocky said, you know, I won't do my impression, but as Rocky said, you know, fear is something that you need. It gives you that extra edge in life. It gives you that extra to get you to where you need to be. Because if you don't have that little nervous feeling with whatever you have to go through, you could become cocky. If you become cocky, you could trip yourself up. But when those nerves are there, it's like you realize that you can rely on something more for your strength, or you can rely on your skill set, for that matter, for strength, if that's what the route you go. But it gives you that extra edge, and you realize you're nervous because something in you is telling you, I'm about to do something new. I'm about to do something great. I'm about to get myself to the next level. I'm about to open that door that I've been praying on or trying to move forward in for so many years, and it's about to happen. That's why nerves come. It's something outside of you, honestly, something in you telling you, get ready, because it's about to happen. And if that comes to you when you're taking the steps Dan and I just laid out for you, move in that. That's huge right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But guys, in summing everything up, if you're going through something, do not detach yourself from life. I get it. Pain comes to us. Pain can block us. A wall could get put up, and we get so shook, we get so thrown off that we detach ourselves from everything because we don't want to feel anymore. We don't want to feel the pain anymore. But in doing so, you block yourself off from the joy, the abundance, the blessings that are just waiting for you. If you could just lift your head up and see them, do not detach yourself from life. Try to live out your life. Live out the joy. Let something new come into your life in all these moments. Because if you can open your eyes from all the pain that you're going through, you're going to see that you have a lot more good around you than just the one thing that may have got shaken off. Take that to heart. But Dan, I thank you so much for being here, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Yeah. It's a powerful message, as always, when we have him on. But guys, I want you to go check out his YouTube channel. Take a moment. He's got the shirt on right now, actually. They got merchandise. But guys, like I said, he puts out powerful messages just as this one was. And like, they're take a moment. I love going deep with this stuff, so mine could be longer messages. He puts them right there for you. You take it and you run with it. Take a moment to go look at his Take a Moment videos. And I'll put that link at the end of this one so you can subscribe to it. But guys, as always, like this message on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button. If anything we said needs to be told to someone you know, friend, family, stranger on the street for that matter, share this to them so you can help someone else. You know, tell someone about this. And then I'll hit the subscribe button. Let's get the number up. Let's get this to more and more people. And if you or anyone you know is going through one of these crisis moments, going through something, you've been shaken off your course and you don't know how to get back up, start doing everything we said. Take the steps. And if you need even more, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com, set up a free consultation with me, and I'll be right there with you to help you take the steps needed to get you to where you need to be. And I guarantee you, I will show you all the strengths that you may be overlooking. Guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. Dan, thanks again, brother. Guys, have a good one, all right?
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it.